Welcome to Selhurst Park, a Monday night derby under the lights with the Crystals cheerleading, the fireworks popping off and the Dave Clark 5 in the background. For Crystal Palace, it's a season of dreams. Just 335 days after lifting the FA Cup, tonight they're presented with a replica of the trophy that will sit in the trophy cabinet forevermore. They're only 180 minutes away from their first ever European final after reaching the Conference League semi-finals on Thursday. No wonder Oliver Glasner allowed them to let their hair down in Florence. For West Ham, European glory a distant memory. Nuno Espirito Santo's men fighting for their Premier League lives, but they arrive in South London with renewed hope. A thumping 4-0 win over Wolverhampton Wanderers has dragged them out of the relegation zone, and they got a little helping hand from Tottenham Hotspur at the weekend. Tonight West Ham know if they win, they will go 4 points clear of Spurs and the relegation zone and reach 35 points with 5 to play. The average number of points required to stay in the Premier League over the last 15 years is 34.5. Win tonight and they won't be safe, but it will be a huge step towards it. Here are the two teams, starting with the home side. Crystal Palace in red and blue stripes, blue shorts and blue socks. Henderson the goalkeeper, Richards, Lacroix and Campo are the back three. Munoz, Lerma, Hughes and Mitchell across the midfield four, and Johnson and Pino support Strand Larsen in attack. The away side in Ecru, it's a bit of a cream colour with dark trim. West Ham United, Hermansen in goal, Walker-Peters, Disasi, Mavropanos and Diouf. Fernandes and Souček holding in midfield with Bowen, Pablo and Somerville behind. Tati, Castellanos in attack. Our referee tonight, Darren England, and the VAR is James Bell. There is a cloak of pyrotechnic smoke just lingering in the air. You can smell it. The cordite is whiffable, and the noise and the atmosphere brilliant, as it has been here in recent home games. I was here the other night for the Fiorentina first leg, the quarter-final, and the atmosphere was off the scale, and I expect it to be pretty similar tonight. Tomorrow night we'll be down at the Amex Stadium in Brighton as they try to go above Chelsea in the race for Europe. That's live on TalkSport. On Wednesday night, if Manchester City beat Burnley, they will go top of the Premier League, and the title will be in their hands. Yes, it already is. Both games are here and only on TalkSport, so download the app, and whatever you are doing, you can take us with you on the goal. Right now, fresh from a late flight from Florence, Palace are swapping the Duomo for the top half of the table. As for West Ham, their next big night on the tiles won't be for a trophy, it'll be for the relief of surviving the drop. Can they take a step towards that tonight? You'll find out on TalkSport in the company of Danny Murphy, who's alongside me in the commentary box. And Danny, the atmosphere is cracking. How much is it going to impact on Crystal Palace and West Ham tonight?
I think a good atmosphere always helps the quality of the game, get Palace players up for it if there is any hangover from the European trip. West Ham obviously incentives there to put the pressure on Tottenham, and as I said before, they've been playing well. Should be a good game, looking forward to it.
Crystal Palace shooting from right to left in the first half, and West Ham from left to right. Nuno Espirito Santo standing on the touchline, so is Oliver Glasner, as Carl Walker-Peters takes the first throw-in of the game from the halfway line down the right touchline, looking for Pablo, long and lean, and with a tight curled hairstyle, big bushy beard, lays the ball back into the path of Mavropanos, who scored twice on West Ham's last outing, the home game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, live on TalkSport. Matheus Fernandes drops into the middle between the two central defenders to pick up the ball for West Ham. He's been so integral. His upturn in form has coincided with their upturn in form at the latter half of the season. The ball is swung up down into the inside right channel, and across comes Chris Richards to put the ball out for a throw-in. The scenario is pretty clear. Hammers will move 4 points clear of the relegation zone with a win. Tottenham currently sitting that final spot for the drop. Palace will move 3 points off 6th position in the Premier League if they win. Here is Walker-Peters down the right, across into the box looking for Tati Castellanos. It's away by Munoz, kept alive by Disasi, and then a mistake by Diouf, and Johnson has pinched it off his toes and looked to race away on the counter-attack. He's got the beating of him. He's gone down that right-hand side, then just slowed up a little bit, looked to try and reverse the ball to Munoz. It wasn't a great ball by Brennan Johnson. It was cut out by Diouf, and that's a bit of a let-off for West Ham United. 0-0.
Yeah, I thought Brennan Johnson could have kept going there. He turned back on himself. I'm not sure whether he didn't fancy himself to keep going at that pace, because Diouf looked like he was struggling.
Yeah.
But he came back and gave him the opportunity to get back in with the poor pass.
And the other thing to mention, that Wolverhampton Wanderers will be relegated tonight if West Ham get a point. Ball over on the far side with Richards to toss the ball in to the penalty area. The big, tall central defender from Alabama with a long throw, and it is a long throw as well, in towards that near post. Mitchell goes up towards it. Lerma was in there as well. It was cleared back to halfway, and Mitchell will get hold of it inside the centre circle. 0-0, 2.5 minutes gone on Talk Sport. Oliver Glasner quite likes playing West Ham. He's won 5 of his 6 managerial meetings with them, including that Europa League semi-final of 2022 when he was the manager of Eintracht Frankfurt. We were there that night. Here is Strand Larsen, midway inside West Ham territory on the right, tucking the ball infield to Jefferson Lerma as West Ham come on the attack. It's forward by Hughes, tries to get round to Strand Larsen. Disasi does well.
Brilliant.
And he immediately releases Bowen, who in turn looks for the run of Tani Castellanos, but it was good defending by Lacroix. 2 big moments there for 2 big central defenders. Crystal Palace coming forward again though, as it's released up to Johnson, and on the edge of the area is Lerma. Towards the left is Mitchell, takes over and moves into the box. He cuts back, gives it a Canvo, and they keep possession inside the West Ham half, and West Ham shuffle across well, but there is a bit of space for Munoz over on that far side. Diouf comes to meet him, goes back to halfway, and then Lacroix has it again. 2 big moments from 2 central defenders at key moments.
Well, it was brilliant from Disasi, because he out-muscled Stan Larsen and then played a wonderful little pass into Bowen, who, with a bit more quality, they could have been in. Played a high line there, Palace. It was a good block in the end. I think it was Lacroix.
It was, yeah. Here it's Campo, travelling down the inside left channel now into centre of midfield, looking for Pino, who's dispossessed. He, in Europe, seems to have a little bit more room and the freedom to express himself. Yeremy Pino. It's a little bit tighter in the Premier League, where there's a lot more physicality and people are on you very quickly.
I only ever really noticed that when I was actually involved in it. When you first start playing European football, you realise the physicality of the Premier League and the speed of it, and it is a different way of playing, and that's why we see some players. I think we've seen it with Tottenham a bit this year. A lot of their players were much more comfortable in Europe than they were in Premier League, and it just takes a while to adapt and get that mentality of the pace and the physicality of our league for some players.
Crystal Palace trying to shake off the fatigue of Thursday night in Florence. A little slip by Castellanos, but Somerville skating towards the edge of the box, mopped up by Will Hughes. I wonder how important he might be tonight, Will Hughes, actually, in the absence of the creativity that Wharton certainly gives you. He gives you the old head, the experience, the game know-how and the nous, which maybe Wharton is yet to learn.
Oh yeah, he's wise, he knows when to slow it down, when to try a creative pass, when to play more simply. Those are the traits of a midfielder. Your decision making is key. He's good at that. He's had a great career. Just before that, actually, it was a great bit of defending from Campo.
Another away by Lacroix into Hughes, then Lerma back to Campo, who looks like he's going to develop into a really good defender, but he's still a little bit error prone at the moment. Makes 1 or 2 big mistakes which have cost his team in that Conference League competition in particular, where he's been playing. He's had to step up and play more often in the second half of the season after Gay went to Manchester City. Here is Lacroix, deep inside his own territory as we enter the 6th minute of the match at Selhurst Park on this Monday night. Remember, there's so much football this week. Brighton-Chelsea tomorrow. Brighton can go above Chelsea with a win. And then on Wednesday night, 2 live games, including that match between Burnley and Manchester City, where they can go top Pep Guardiola's team. Campo strides out of defence with the ball. He's brought down by Bowen. Free kick is given.
It's good play from him, wasn't it? Nice and confident from the young lad. Comfortable in possession. It's always fascinating to see when teams set up different tactically. We know Palace play a 3-4-3, and tonight West Ham are playing a more orthodox 4-4-2, but there's so many little different problems that come with that when you're defending.
Here is Pino trying to poke the ball in towards Johnson, who nips it in front of Mavropanos and takes it wide to the left. It's fired in towards the near edge of the 6-yard box, and Strand Larsen was arriving and he got something on it, but it wasn't controlled. It just hit him in the end and just went beyond the post and out for a goal kick away to our left.
He was unlucky. Good early ball into the box. Gets across his mark. He's gone too far ahead of the near post to be able to get it on target. Nice to see Mitchell getting forward and really getting high up the pitch. Something we've seen from the Palace wing-backs many times.
He's actually had a really good season goal-scoring wide. He's got 3 goals already, Mitchell, this season. He only scored 3 in his whole career before this campaign. Here's Munoz getting across him from the wide right position, and then as it's headed away, he wins it back again. It's taken off him by Matías Fernández, and in the left full-back position, Diouf hammers clear up over the halfway line, and Lacroix will see it back to his captain and goalkeeper, Dean Henderson, who, just falling backwards slightly, elevates the ball high into midfield. Souček wins the header against Pino, goes out for a throw in the left full-back position to the home team, Crystal Palace. 7 gone, 0-0 on TalkSport.
Might sound simplistic, but Diouf just played a really good long ball in behind that Palace defence for the 2 strikers to run after. Keeper comes out, kicks it wide, and then all of a sudden West Ham have now got territory in the Crystal Palace. So we don't see that enough. Some percentages balls from fullbacks and centre-halves to get the team higher up the pitch and take away the pressure. It was a great ball.
That's the great thing about Crystal Palace, actually, and West Ham have shown that as well. You know, their trend in the Premier League for a long time has been trying to play out from the back and just constantly try and force it when it might be better just to release it up and gain some yardage. And I think Palace are really good at doing that, and so are West Ham now. Ball cleared upfield by Crystal Palace, but broke down the move, and now it's come back to them with Johnson, who's trying to wriggle away from Fernandes, whose tackling was brilliant and his pressing superb, and he nabbed the ball back and then drew the foul from Munoz. And Johnson looks a little bit lacking in confidence. He sort of displayed that when he picked the ball up and tried to run past Diouf, got beyond him and then didn't really have the confidence to keep going. And there, he initially had some space in the middle of the West Ham half, but then didn't really look at his wing mirrors and realise that Fernandes was
overthinking when you get the ball instead of playing natural. It was a great recovery actually from Fernandes. He's quick, isn't he? Yeah. But Johnson actually picked up another great position. He came in off that wider area, became really central, just in behind Strand Larsen. It was a good position from him. Wasted, really.
Here is Carl Walker-Peters galloping down the West Ham United right into Bowen, gets it back to Carl Walker-Peters down the side of the Palace penalty area into Bowen, who dabs it to Souček. Back out wide it goes, a chance for Walker-Peters to cross. He does that. It's towards Somerville, headed away by Chris Richards and then picked up on the left by Diouf, who smashes it into the penalty area, but he overhit the cross and it goes out for a goal kick away to our right hand side, and it's still 0-0. Palace chasing history. They need 12 points from their remaining 7 games to set a new club record for points in a single Premier League season. And West Ham United, who did look dead and buried at one stage in January, I think we all thought that they were going to go along with Burnley and Wolves, have won 5 of their last 11 Premier League games, taking 18 points in that span. And form at this stage of the season, Danny, is really important.
Absolutely, yeah. Confidence, form. They've been on a really good run. It was a good little attack from the Walker-Peters, getting some joy already down this right-hand side in the first 10 minutes. I think that's a lot to do with Mitchell being preoccupied with Bowen. And that's the problem when you play wing-backs. When do you let the winger go on to the third centre-half, and when do you take the full-back of the back 4?
Who's in charge of that?
Well, I think Mitchell, they'll have worked on that many times. I think Mitchell will err on the side of caution until his centre-half really says to him, I'll take Bowen, because of the talent of Bowen.
Communication key, though.
Yeah, massive. But vice versa. I mean, West Ham will have some issues when they're defending that front 3 and the wing backs pushing on, because it could be a 5v4 if Bowen and Somerville don't do their jobs. The wing backs push on, so that the 2 full backs of the back 4.
Does it make a little bit of a difference that you've got Pino and Johnson playing in number 10 positions rather than wingers?
Yes, it does. Causes a problem for West Ham for sure.
Ball played forward by Crystal Palace, is then returned with interest, and it was miscontrolled by Richards over on the far side. Came off Jefferson Lerma and goes out for a throw-in. Level with the edge of the penalty area that West Ham are attacking, wearing those cream jerseys tonight. Thrown in by Diouf. Picked up by Somerville. The return pass goes towards the edge of the area. It's won by Lacroix, and then Johnson has the chance to feed Pino, and he escapes over the halfway line. Bends the ball, Pino, into the path now of Daniel Munoz, who played so well in those European Conference League games over the course of the last few weeks. But Pino then runs down a cul-de-sac again. Matías Fernández is there, and they win it back, West Ham, and clear it to the halfway line. Usually, whenever we see these two teams, we expect goals. The last 5 Premier League meetings between these two at Selhurst Park have produced a staggering 26 goals at an average of 5.2 per game. But we'll take a little bit of that tonight, that's for sure, on this pivotal week of football. Lacroix to Hughes on the halfway line, back to Richards, who will be looking forward to the World Cup with the United States of America. Swung forward by Lacroix, cut away by Walker Peters. Jared Bowen just travelled outside the perimeter of the pitch with that ball. That's going to be a throw-in on the left as Crystal Palace look at it, halfway inside West Ham United territory, and Richards might well try and launch this into the box from here.
Why not? Why not? If he can get it there, get the big boys up. Although West Ham aren't struggling for size, are they?
No. It's the land of the giants out there tonight, isn't it? And Richard's certainly one of those. Is about to propel the ball from this near side, and he has got a serious throw on him. He gets some serious distance on this. He takes 2-3 steps up to the touchline and then sends it out towards Lacroix, who heads it on into the penalty area. Pablo Felipe comes across there. He nudges it to the halfway line and away to safety. Mitchell gets it back. Now Richards will drip this ball out towards the far side looking for Jeremy Pino. Jeremy Pino goes up with Diouf, but Diouf comes away with the ball. Walker Peters is there to help out, and Diouf over on the left-hand side will bring the ball down the touchline. Almost walked it out of play. There was a collision. The ball eventually does go out, and the referee's given a foul over on that far side, and the free kick to West Ham United is 0-0 on TalkSport.
I have to say, I know we were talking about Disasi and Mavropanos, but Disasi, his form recently, he's got up to speed so quickly. He's such a presence, and you look at the Chelsea back line, you think, is he better than what Chelsea have got? Why are you smiling?
Well, are you trying to wind me up?
No, I actually think yes, there's an argument to say he could get in the Chelsea back four.
Well, at the moment they're playing Harto and Fofana, and Fofana obviously is quite injury prone. And you are listening to Crystal Palace versus West Ham on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Don't forget, now you can stream all of the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Crystal Palace versus West Ham live right now. Search Now Sports. West Ham emerge with the ball after a knot in midfield. It goes up towards Pablo Felipe, who looks to try and reverse it into the path of some of the edge of the area. It bounces kindly for Castellanos, who strikes it from the edge of the box, got underneath it. It went a yard over the top of the crossbar, but very quickly West Ham progressed from the halfway line to the edge of the Palace penalty area there. Good work from Pablo Felipe and good hunting from Tati Castellanos.
It was a good break. It was all made possible by Somerville coming in off that left-hand side, using his quick feet and his great balance to go by a couple of players. And Castellanos will be a little bit disappointed. Just bobbled up as he hit it, but he'd expect to hit the target there. At least he had Bowen on his right-hand side, who he could have slipped it to. He wasn't best pleased.
Again, Crystal Palace make a mess of getting the ball out from defence. It's won by Jared Bowen, and then a slip by Carl Walker-Peters, a tackle by Mitchell. The referee says play on, and quite rightly so. Up to halfway, Jeremy Pino takes it over and into the West Ham half. He slips it square, and Jefferson Lerma, tries to fire it into Strand Larsen. It bounces off Mavropanos, and it's cleared away by West Ham. Bowen, surrounded by 4 Crystal Palace jerseys, loses the ball. Lerma nudges it back to Henderson, and it's very competitive and congested in that midfield area, Danny.
It is. It's actually been a good tempo to the game. There's a good bit of needle in it as well.
Nice
a few tackles going in.
And he's got space out wide on his right for Munoz, whose first time ball is blocked by the first man, which is Diouf. But he just got hold of it in that number 10 position there, Jeremy Pino, and skipped away from a West Ham challenge, fed the ball out wide to Munoz. He probably should have done better with the cross.
Yeah, it was a good break. It's normally better. They had time actually to look up and put a better ball in. Here we go, I think, with the long throw again. Obviously confident in it.
Chris Richards is the one taking it. He's gone all the way out there in front of the West Ham fans in the Arthur Waite stand opposite us. He's halfway inside West Ham territory. He launches that ball right to the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Diouf, who got up well and powerfully headed the ball away. A good athletic jump from Diouf, and his arms and legs out to help him get up high and hang in the air. Ball was cleared to halfway, and Crystal Palace looked to build again through the Frenchman, JD Canva. into Strand Larsen, who tries to take a touch and go round Mavropanos. Mavropanos too wily for that. And then as he brings the ball out, Strand Larsen challenges him. The ball deflects off of Strand Larsen and it goes out for a throw-in on this near side. It remains 0-0 on TalkSport. Tomorrow we've got live football, so Wednesday. And then the weekend is massive as well because the FA Cup semi-finals take centre stage Saturday and Sunday. We've also got the small matter of Fulham versus Aston Villa as well. And don't forget the big EFL games that we've got for you. Friday night Leicester Millwall is a massive game. At the same time we're doing Sunderland Nottingham Forest from the Premier League. West Brom Ipswich on Saturday as well. Here's Tati Castellanos going down the left hand side of the Palace penalty area. He slips as he's about to get the cross in and it dribbles behind and out for a goal kick away to our right hand side.
I think both managers will be reasonably pleased with the start. West Ham have got men forward, had a couple of good attacks. No real chances as of yet, but decent starts of the game from both, really quite open.
Looking forward to the sports bar tonight, by the way. Obviously I always like listening to the calls and the jokes and the banter that they have, but I want to hear what happened at the after party to the wedding at the weekend. Jason Cundy dressed up as Ange Postecoglou and went into the party, which I thought was quite funny. So I want to hear more stories about that. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy opening the sports bar tonight from 10 o'clock. 03717223344. Here is Brennan Johnson trying to roll past Souček and get into the penalty area from a quick throw from the right. Doesn't get hold of it and it runs through to the goalkeeper.
Great example of midfield play there. Getting near your centre half, spotting danger, getting in and shielding it back. Looks very simple, but they're the little hard yards as a midfielder you have to do sometimes. You don't get much credit for. Exactly why he always tends to play no matter who's managing him. He's a terrific worker, very reliable and great in both boxes, as we know.
57% possession for Crystal Palace so far, one shot each, no shots on target up until this point. Carl Walker-Peters guides the ball back to his goalkeeper. Mads Hermansson in bright orange garb tonight, kicks it long down the right hand side as West Ham look at it. Lovely little touch by Tati Castellanos into Bowen. Bowen just hasn't quite got into the game yet, just trying to flick the ball infield. It was snaffled up by Lerma, who was then fouled by Pablo Felipe, and it's a free kick to Crystal Palace. But a good touch for Castellanos, who he's growing in confidence actually after his 2 goals against Wolves.
He looks confident, doesn't he? Great little touch, good awareness. I like his energy. He looks ready.
12 Premier League games since signing, 3 goals in his last 5.
It's funny when you watch him, his body language compared to his partner Pablo, who looks a bit more relaxed, let's say, a little bit more of a languid style.
Yes.
It's how I picture you playing that.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm all energy, me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like a Duracell bunny.
Oh.
That's all I've got going for me. Here is
you've got something.
Mitchell out to the left looking for Lerma. He tries to get the cross in. He does brilliantly, and the header is wide from the arriving Johnson. It was a super set-up play by Crystal Palace. Lerma with a swirling cross to the edge of the 6-yard box. Johnson was arriving. He hung in the air. He got his header firmly towards goal, but he missed the target.
So he didn't just miss, he missed it by a mile. It's a brilliant ball in. It only needs deflecting on target. He's got in a couple of great positions, Brennan Johnson, but that is a sign of a player who's lacking a bit of confidence, I'm afraid. But if he keeps getting in those good positions, it will come good for him. I feel for him because we've seen him score many goals for Tottenham coming in off that right side, and that particular one was a poor finish. Free as well, free. Brilliant pass, brilliant cross.
Still yet to score for his new club, no goal and just 1 assist in his last 26 Premier League appearances for Tottenham and Palace combined. Foul over on the far side. The first yellow card is coming out, and that yellow card coming after a challenge on Diouf. And it was Brennan Johnson who inflicted it, and that sort of I suppose a bit of frustration maybe.
That's exactly what it is. Absolutely. It's got to be careful now. Last thing Palace need is to go down to 10.
Well, It's a dead ball situation for West Ham United to try and take advantage of. West Ham probably retargeting dead balls. Palace have conceded 42% of their goals from set pieces this season, which is the highest ratio of any team in the Premier League this campaign. Here is the free kick to be taken wide on the left by Fernandes towards the far post. Souček with a header, comes down inside the 6-yard box. Disasi was there, but so was Dean Henderson, who grabbed that, ran towards the edge of the box and will clear away for Crystal Palace. He's been a very good goalkeeper actually for Crystal Palace, Dean Henderson, this year. Hardly missed a game. He had a couple of games out with illness a few weeks ago, but apart from that, he's been readily available. 16 clean sheets in 41 games this season, and he loves keeping a clean sheet against West Ham United. 6 in his last 13 against them, although he did score an own goal in a match with them 2 years ago. Mitchell hobbling on this near touchline. Throw into West Ham 10 yards inside Palace territory. And Kyle Walker-Peters drops it into Tati Castellanos, and then Walker-Peters wanders into Pino and gives him the ball. Luckily for Walker-Peters, Souček managed to rob the ball back off of Strand Larsen, and it's with West Ham over on the far side. And all energy, El Hadj Malik Diouf goes pushing the ball into the path of Somerville, who comes forward, gets squeezed to the ground by a combination of Johnson and Munoz, and it's going to be a free kick level with the edge of the penalty area for West Ham United.
He's got great feet, Somerville, really quick feet. Can't be nibbling. As soon as you dive in, and he'll just skip by you. It's Munoz this time. I think you have to be really, really patient when you're defending against him. Don't give him that opportunity. Especially with the size of this West Ham side, you know. Good quality in on these deliveries, and you're really struggling because they've got 4 or 5 real powerhouses in there.
Well, 4 of their last 7 goals have come from dead ball situations. Konstantinos Mavropanos netted 3 of those. And he's in the box now, ready to try and capitalise on anything that comes his way. Somerville and Diouf standing over it. There is just the one man in the wall, wide on the right. It's right level with the edge of the box, but it's far to the touchline on the wide left position. Right-footed, an arcing in-swinger from Somerville, and stretching his arms up into the sky to take it very cleanly is Dean Henderson, the Palace goalkeeper.
Poor. All the big boys waiting in there, and you just get too much height on it. Makes it easy for Henderson. He'll be disappointed with that.
Strand Larsen trying to flick the ball around the corner for Cambo. Probably needed a surer touch. Couldn't get on it. And it goes out eventually off Kyle Walker-Peters, the right back, and for a throw-in that up as far as the halfway line. Mitchell will take it into Yeremy Pino. Back to Mitchell again. He skips infield. Souček with a foul. And in the last 5 minutes or so, Danny, the game's just got a little bit stop-start.
It has. It has. I still think, West Ham will be pleased because although Palace have played in Europe, we've talked about it continuously, they're a good side, and they've caused West Ham only the one problem really with the Johnson chance. They'd have been aware coming away from home that 20 minutes in you want to be in the game and you don't want to be climbing a mountain. So
good defending again by JD Cambo, and it wins the ball and allows Pino to turn it over, but instead of rushing it forward, he slows it down, comes back infield, gives it to Richards, and now Hughes takes over. Munoz is over on the far side, the right. Mitchell hugging the touchline on the left. Palace keep the ball inside their own half. Cambo comes forward. He's got Richards over on the far side, but decides to go all the way back to Henderson. Henderson then finds Richards, and he in turn gives it back to his goalkeeper, and he almost gave it back to Tati Castellanos. And Castellanos putting the ball wide with a stretched limb, which was attempted to block that back pass, and he almost successfully did it.
Well, it was a better press actually from West Ham, because Somerville come out of his position to go and help the front two press that 3. Need to try and do that a bit more if they're going to force the issue.
0-0, 25 gone on Talk Sport tonight. Ball sent long by Henderson. It goes right the way down the middle of the pitch, touches nobody, and gets into the arms of Hermansen with relative ease. They work it left and then give the ball eventually to Crescencio Somerville, who dances away from Lacroix and comes out towards the near side. Carl Walker-Peters helps it on to Bowen. Bowen cuts in left-footed, delivers a cross which is easily headed away by Cambo. And now the Crystal Palace crowd encourage Pino to run forward with the ball. He dribbles up towards the halfway line. He's got space on his right for Munoz. He comes centrally with Johnson. Johnson edge of the area, tries to shape it in the corner and misses the target. It was closer this time. Lovely move from Crystal Palace. It results in Brennan Johnson having an effort from 20 yards, which he tried to shape with his right foot to curl it outside the post and come back in again. Just wouldn't come back in time.
It was a great move. Pino and Johnson are playing in those little number 10 positions and causing West Ham real problems. Brennan Johnson, as I said, is getting himself in some brilliant positions, and he's really unlucky with that one. It's the right thing to do. He's tried to bend into the far corner and missed by a few inches. It was great play from Pino, great awareness to know where he was. And West Ham have got to try and stop that, because the two centre halves are occupied with the forwards, so they don't really want to be going in there. Two midfield boys have got to be looking over their shoulder for West Ham to try and stop that ball getting in there, because time and time again Brennan Johnson and Pino are getting that little bit of joy.
Shirt pull on Strand Larsen, which generates another free kick for Crystal Palace. The two best chances of the game, Johnson's header and Johnson's curler.
It actually stemmed again from a poor cross from Bowen, and Bowen, who we're all big fans of course, wonderful player. He started a little bit sloppy for him, whereas on the other side Somerville's been really, really good. Just needs to pick his game up a little bit.
Lerma sends the ball over the top. Carl Walker-Peters has to run back because Mitchell is scurrying backwards. Lerma went to try and hit it from the halfway line, and Bowen came in from behind him, nabbed it and fed Somerville. Somerville edge of the area, cuts in right-footed. Richards brilliant defending, deflects the ball away. Pablo Felipe tries to keep it alive, and Cambo will eventually hack it to halfway. Great little move that. Started by Bowen nabbing the ball on halfway when Lerma was sleeping, and then he set up Constancio Somerville. Good defending from Chris Richards.
I expected more from Somerville in that position. We've seen him so many times produce brilliant moments one-on-one, but it was good defending, I have to say.
So regimented and so physical, aren't they?
Yeah.
They anticipate the moments well, those two central defenders, Lacroix and Richards, and Cambo's pretty good at it as well. And they're so well drilled. Oliver Glasner's got them very sharp.
Well, it was good just on that move. It was good play from Bowen, wasn't it?
Yes.
Winning the ball back. We talked about him. Must have heard me having a go at him.
He probably did, yeah. Currently Crystal Palace nil, West Ham nil. For the latest odds, you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Palace to win the game at 17-10. The draw is 15-8, and West Ham are 9-5. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18+, begambleaware.org. Mitchell gets there ahead of Castellanos. Is taken off of his toes and given to Hughes. Hughes holds it well, then comes infield, then overruns it, gives it away to Walker-Peters. He charges down the right, feeds Bowen in a good crossing position. He's got Pablo Felipe waiting in the centre. He gets to the byline, tries to produce the cross. It's again well blocked by Cambo. Might not have been the right ball from Bowen, and it goes out of play and away for a throw-in down by the corner flag. Still 0-0.
They've smothered him well. Between Mitchell and Cambo, they're obviously aware of his quality. That's the thing.
I think if you speak to West Ham United fans, one of the big problems this season is that a lot of teams have smothered Jarrod Bowen, and when you new to him, you do manage to stop a lot of what is good about West Ham. He's got a little bit of freedom here. The ball won't bounce for him kindly. It'll be away by Lacroix instead, and then Strand Larsen didn't even bother looking for the ball as it was dropping over his shoulder. He was just looking at Mavropanos, and those two have become very well acquainted in the opening 30 minutes of the game that we've had so far on TalkSport. Here's Pablo Felipe dropping to the halfway line, nudging it back to Matías Fernandez. Fernandez into the very tall and lean and thin Thomas Souček, the warrior in midfield. And the ball eventually goes out off of Brennan Johnson for a throw-in. West Ham have it inside their own half. Souček trying to float it out towards the near touchline. Carl Walker-Peters brings it down, takes on Mitchell. Mitchell goes across to him, but he shapes the ball into the inside right channel. Just not
corner.
Good enough for it to reach Bowen, but it did take a deflection, and it goes out for a corner on this near side.
He obviously didn't see the deflection, Henderson, because he stopped.
Let it go,
Yeah.
And then he slipped actually as he went behind. I think it just came off of Mitchell, didn't it? That little flick off him. And then
it's credit to Walker-Peters actually that Wan-Bissaka's fit, and he's left him on the bench this evening. I know some people are surprised because I'm a big fan of Wan-Bissaka, but he's obviously putting his trust in Walker-Peters.
I think think there's a bit of a fallout about after the AFCON.
Okay.
Here is Bowen, left-footed towards the far post, headed away by Richards, back in by Diouf, and it might fall for Disasi. He turns and rifles it over the bar. He was offside anyway, but he missed the opportunity, so he didn't give the VAR a job to do. I think he was in an offside position.
He did lucky, yeah. It's good ball in from Jared Bowen. Great header out from Richards, but they recycle the ball. Yeah, he's a yard maybe.
Well, it's tight because I think Munoz was still coming out on the far side, but we won't have to look at VAR because he didn't get it on target. It's over the bar. Just a quick one on that Aaron Wan-Bissaka thing. There has been a dispute. West Ham have made a complaint to FIFA about his release after the AFCON. They wanted him back a little bit quicker than he ended up coming. So there is a bit of a dispute with the DR Congo as a result of that. He hasn't been in the team for the last 2 games. Carl Walker-Peters, who's hardly started for West Ham. Last week was his first Premier League start since the 2-1 defeat to Forest back on January the 6th. That shows you just how long it's been since he's been starting matches. He did play against Leeds United in the Cup, and then he played against Wolverhampton Wanderers. And I suppose once you get into that position where he's been given the nod for whatever reason, if you're winning, you keep going.
Yeah, well, and also he's obviously seeing them train every day. But I love Wan-Bissaka. I think he's a phenomenal defender.
Which is why I think it's probably more to it than just
I think you're right.
Preference.
That's why I've got you, Sam. You give me those little details. Makes sense. I should know that myself, really. But
that's why we've got each other, Dan.
Yeah.
Here is Pino back towards the middle of the Crystal Palace half. It's with Lacroix and then Richards and then back to Cambo. We're still awaiting our first shot on target from West Ham United and our first shot on target from Crystal Palace.
I'd like to see a bit more from Pablo, to be honest. Not really impacted the game. I think when you're playing in that role, you either drop in and get it to feet, or if you're going to play higher against the centre halves, put yourself about. He looks a bit lethargic. A bit one pace, to say the least.
Yeah, and looks a little bit caught between 2 positions at the moment.
Yeah.
Here is Will Hughes in midfield for Crystal Palace. Back into Lerma. Lerma across to the left and Cambo. Cambo's starting to stride forward now. He plays it wide to the left and Mitchell. Mitchell moves up towards the edge of the area. Produces across deep towards the far post. Flicked away by Disasi. Comes out as far as Johnson, who's had those 2 good chances for Crystal Palace, but we still have no score here. Ball back out on the right. Munoz trying to wrestle for it. Going down was Matheus Fernandes, but he went to the ground and grabbed the ball with his hands, and I don't know, the referee's blown the whistle. The Palace players weren't too happy about that.
Yeah, it did look a little bit soft. Yeah, I didn't see a foul there at all.
There was no one round him.
No, he's got lucky. He's got lucky, Fernandes, there.
Munoz not happy at all. Just looking up in the stands, Adam Wharton is here tonight watching on. He had to come off during the first half of that game in Florence on Thursday night. We do hope that his adductor problem, his groin problem, is not as bad as first feared, and that we'll see him back playing for Crystal Palace and hopefully very much contending to be in the England squad. Will Hughes has just made a foul on the edge of the penalty area, about 5 yards back from it on Somerville, and that's given West Ham another free kick.
He's been bright, Somerville. He does well here, picks up the seconds.
It was Hughes. Was it Lerma? I actually don't think there was much in any of it.
I think he's falling himself there.
No, I don't think it's a foul, do you? I mean, we've looked at it. Will Hughes didn't make contact with him. He started to go down just after that and then sort of slid as he approached Lerma. So there's no... I don't think it was Hughes. I think he's just fallen awkwardly.
Yeah, probably. There didn't look much in it at all. If there was a tiny touch from Hughes, but thankfully for Somerville and West Ham, he's up and about. I do like him. He's got great balance and low sense of gravity. Yeah, he clips his heel, clips his left hip, Achilles. Yeah. I was going to say it was. He looked in pain.
We had to see a different angle of that because the first replay, I think, has got Dean Henderson, Mads Hermansson, walking in front of the camera lens, so you sort of couldn't see it. There's a lot of obstacles in the way to a lot of views inside this old stadium.
Yeah, maybe we should let the listener know if there is a delay on a couple of our opinions.
There's the ball into the box, headed away by Lacroix. It's cleared away. And it's picked up by Hughes, who's leading the charge out. He's got Somerville for company, and Somerville does brilliantly, outpaces him and gets the ball. Castellanos, who's crossed towards the far post, is too heavy for Souček, and runs off the turf and goes out for a throw-in. It was good from Crescencio Somerville to try and turn that ball over as Palace threatened to counter-attack, quickly get it out to the right, but the ball by Castellanos not good enough for Souček and runs out of play. But just to paint the picture of the stadium, Danny and I sitting, I suppose, about level with the edge of the penalty area away to our right-hand side, the one that Palace are defending in the first half. They have installed a new speaker system here recently, and that means that these great big speakers are hanging from the antiquated roof of the main stand that we're in. It's a big corrugated iron roof that comes over our head and almost right down towards the front of the stand here, but it does mean that we can't see the goal away to our left or the edge of the penalty area in front of us.
But we love it anyway.
We love it because it's old school and the atmosphere's great, which is good. It's lucky we've got Izzy here to help us out. Here is Matthias Fernandes over on the far side. Ready to take the free kick for West Ham, 10 yards inside the Palace half of the field. He plays an angled ball out towards the edge of the penalty area where Mavropanos leaps and heads it down into the box. It's away by Munoz and it goes out for a throw.
It's another poor ball because it's too wide. It's way too wide. He wants to be playing that more in centrally so the players can come and attack it. It's not even a difficult ball.
I wish I'd never said that thing about the goals earlier.
I know. I was just thinking that before.
It's 0-0. Walker-Peters throws it in, finds Souček. He then runs backwards rather than forwards, Walker-Peters. Souček nudges it on. This is a chance for Pablo Felipe to get a cross in. He hits the first man, Lacroix, and then Mitchell picks it up and sends it forward. Tucked around the corner by Pino, but gives it away to Walker-Peters. Then wins it back brilliantly and elevates the ball forward. Johnson goes across to meet it, then runs into Disasi. The ball runs clear, and Mavropanos has it for West Ham United. Remember, West Ham will move 4 points clear of the relegation zone if they win. Palace will move 3 points off 6th position, that's Chelsea, with a victory tonight. And they will have a game in hand as well. And their game in hand is against Manchester City.
Just a minute ago, that passage of play for West Ham was a nice move, and Pablo gets himself in down the right. Takes an eternity to try and get his cross, and then it gets blocked because it gives the defender time to get back. I don't know whether he's working on his fitness or he's just not that
punch. And it comes back to Taddy Castellanos, who does an overhead kick. It's cleared away by Lacroix, who's just in front of the goalkeeper. It breaks to the left. Somerville with a cross away by Cambo, who gets there was 2 West Ham players get in the way. Well, Henderson came out and punched. He didn't get a good punch on it. He punched it straight to Castellanos, and his overhead kick had to be cleared off the line by Maxence Lacroix. A collision of heads between Johnson over on the far side and El Hadj Malik Diouf means that both medical staff come running onto the pitch here to make sure that the 2 boys are okay.
I have to say, the pace of the Palace physio was very impressive.
I hope he hasn't pulled a hamstring.
No, he was flying across. He left the West Ham boys in his wake. Hopefully they're both okay. It was a good effort from Castellanos. I don't know whether he needed to do the overhead kick though. I think he had time to maybe take it on the side, but maybe we'll see a replay in a second. Here we go.
Well, the ball was thrown in quickly by Diouf. It came back to him. It wasn't a great ball back to him by Castellanos. He loops the ball into the air. It's headed by Bowen unchallenged, punched away tamely by the goalkeeper who ran into his own player. It came to Castellanos, who was about 11 yards out. He tried the overhead. It was cleared away by Lacroix. And then when the ball came back in again, it was well dealt with.
I actually think he's got time. He doesn't know that, to be fair to him. It's the right thing to do. He has got time to wait for it and actually take it on the side volley, but he wants to take it from a higher position because of the players coming. He thinks they're coming, but they weren't there.
Henderson delighted that Maxence Lacroix was stationed in the middle of the goal. You're listening to Crystal Palace 0, West Ham United 0 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, whatever it is, they're here for it. And tomorrow morning on TalkSport Breakfast from 6 a.m, Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoyster back together when you wake up, and there'll be quite a lot for you to get your teeth in tomorrow, including all the fallout to this game and the big previews to tomorrow night's match between Brighton and Chelsea. White and Jordan was essential listening this morning. I don't know if you heard it with Martin Keown. It was fantastic, and I know Danny will be back on that show on Wednesday later in the week. Looking forward to that. 0-0. And Diouf just getting some treatment, still on the floor.
Good to see they're both okay.
Johnson's about to come off. We're seeing pictures of Steve Parrish sitting next to our friend Alan Pardew, who's also sitting next to Debbie Hewitt, the FA chair. And she's here tonight because she has handed over a replica of the FA Cup to Steve Parrish.
Nice to keep in the little trophy room that they've got now.
Yeah, they've got now. Well, they've just built one because of that. Maybe they have. Have you got a little mini FA Cup replica?
No, I've got my FA Cup winners medal.
Have you not got, like, because you were in the Liverpool team that won all 3 trophies that year?
Yeah. I'm not a trophy person, really.
No, you're not?
Nah. They're in a sports bag in my mum's, I think.
Don't tell everyone.
Nobody knows where she lives.
Ball getting forward up to Pino, and he gets inside the area and then tucks it back to Strand Larsen, who strikes it, hits Souček. There was a long ball forward down the right. Pino did really well, and they've got the ball here inside the box, but Muñoz has stretched and given it away, taken on by Disasi, who brings it forward by over the halfway line. West Ham chasing. Bowen's not going to reach that. They'll go out of play.
It's unlucky.
Do you ever wear it occasionally, the medals? Just, you know.
No, I have got them out a couple of times just to check they're still okay.
Okay.
Not rusting or anything. You never know.
Do you polish them? You polish your medals? You must polish your medals.
I have the odd polish now and again, yeah.
Souček. Back to Walker-Peters on the right-hand side. Clips the ball down the right touchline, looking for the run of Pablo Felipe on his dispossessed. Canvo here. That was a mistake by Canvo. Felipe into the box again, doesn't get the cross right. It's away by Lacroix, but it is a corner to West Ham United with 3 minutes to go before half-time.
Yeah, it's a bit better from West Ham. It's another poor cross though, isn't it? It is. It's a poor cross. Got himself in a really good position. Men in the box, just missed that first man.
It's amazing, really, because since mid-January, West Ham have absolutely transformed their attacking efficiency. They now rank first in the Premier League for shot conversion over that period. But tonight they just looked a little toothless, actually, up until this point. But it was a corner or a cross into the box which changed the game last Friday night. And here is one in towards Mavropanos, who gets up there and it just misses him. And it's half cleared by Crystal Palace and then retrieved over on the far side by Somerville. Back to Diouf and then into Somerville once again. Matthias Fernandes tries to control it, prods it down the touchline into the path of Diouf. Diouf tries to take on the fullback, produces a brilliant cross, hits it towards Mavropanos. It's a brilliant save by Henderson. Mavropanos got up there, thundered a header towards goal, and Dean Henderson struck out his big right hand and repelled the danger. Still not clear. Pablo Felipe has it, left side of the penalty area, being watched by Richards, goes back to Diouf. His cross into the box is high, and it goes all the way through to Bowen, who just about keeps it in. No, he doesn't. He juggled with it, he took it out, and it's a goal kick away to our right. But Henderson comes to Palace's rescue.
Well, it's the best cross of the evening by Diouf. It's an absolutely wonderfully whipped-in ball. And Mavropanos was never losing it. He catches it full. It's a brilliant header. Great save from Henderson. What a strong right hand that is.
Yeah, well, you can see why El Hadj Malik Diouf has the joint most assists of any Premier League defender in the competition this season. It was a beautiful delivery into Mavropanos, who almost got another goal.
Well, it was a great lead because he's out-jumped Strand Larsen there comfortably, but it's a brilliant header. Head it back the way it come. Exactly what you're supposed to do.
Great header.
Great save, great header, great move.
Great everything. This is Walker-Peters. Now towards the right. Now Bowen. Back into Carl Walker-Peters. We think we're going to have 4 added minutes at the end of the first 45 here on TalkSport, and indeed the fourth official confirms that. Pablo Felipe twists away from Hughes but gives it straight to Mitchell. Mitchell encouraged to come forward, pokes it away from Fernandez, who dived in and missed his tackle, and Pino's on the outside if Mitchell wants to use it. Mitchell continues to go. He got the winner in the game between the two of them earlier in the season, but his finish was really poor there, and he was running out of ideas. He got to the edge of the area, he was caught in two minds, he didn't really know if he had the strength to get away and get the shot clear, and he got to the edge of the box, and by the time he hit it, it was tame and it dribbled past the post.
Yeah, it was a good positive run from Mitchell, and the reason he didn't make the pass is because Mavropanos made a good position to stop that ball to Pino, and he decided to give it a dig, and he pulled it well past the post. Really didn't get any decent purchase on it at all, but nice and positive from him.
Yeah, got the winner in the game between these two back in the early part of the season. Off target there with his effort, but both teams have had a reasonable effort on goal. The first shot on target we had was from Mavropanos' head, and then Mitchell with a good chance to try and put Palace in front. But the other best chances that we've had in between time, Johnson's header early in the game and a curler from the same man. But it's still 0-0. And we're in injury time at the end of the first half. Ball kicked clear by Hermansen. It's right down the middle of the pitch, that. Cambo gets it, almost falls over, skates slightly but clips it forward. Headed down and away by Souček. Now picked up by Fernandez. Fernandez tiptoes forward and then, well, he punches the ball out towards the far side, but it was in between where Pablo Felipe wanted it and El Hadj Malik Diouf, and it goes out of play and away for a throw-in to Crystal Palace. 0-0.
Yeah, expect a little bit more from Fernandez. He's got great energy, great fitness, just a little bit better with the ball, a bit neater, a bit tidier, a bit more productive with the quality he's got.
And let West Ham know that a point is a reasonably good result for them, but not a brilliant one. If they do manage to get a win tonight, West Ham, then they are in a brilliant position. They've certainly put daylight between them and Tottenham Hotspur, but it definitely tumbles Tottenham into turmoil. Ball out of play over on the far side. Throw-in to be taken by Diouf, who gives the ball away eventually. Lerma wins it back for Palace, and now it's with Will Hughes up to Strand Larsen, who hasn't really affected the game enough in this first 45 minutes. Castellanos certainly has, and he slips the ball down the left. Somerville is in an offside position. Eventually Scott Ledger, who is the assistant on this near side, waves his flag.
He's right. I was right in line with it. Good play from Disasi again, though. Strong. Too much. Good pass out. It's been really impressive again. Strand Larsen struggling against those two boys. Had no joy at all, really.
Free kick on the edge of the penalty area. I don't know why my brother was ringing me either. Sorry about that. He's making noise in the background.
I didn't see him.
He knows I'm on the radio. It's cleared away up over the half.
Maybe it's his idea of a bit of banter.
Sure. It's cleared up over the halfway line and goes out of play. 3 minutes into the 4 added. And we're still awaiting a first Crystal Palace shot on target. Yeah, Strand Larsen hasn't really managed to get into the game. Why do you think that is?
Well, he's up against two really good centre halves, and he likes to fight, but the more skillful side of the game and the link-up play isn't really his strong bit. But he's gone off. I think he's going to have to drop off maybe 5 or 10 yards and try and get a couple into feet and just link the play instead of trying to stand up against them and fight them, because he's losing that battle at the moment.
Yeah, it's a new combination as well, isn't it? Usually those two behind him aren't Pino and Johnson either, but that is the half-time whistle, and these two managers cannot be separated. These two teams can't either. Oliver Glasner and Nuno Espirito Santo have drawn all 3 of their previous Premier League meetings, exactly 1-1. It's 0-0 tonight, and 2 shots on target from West Ham in that first half, but Brennan Johnson had 2 good opportunities, his header and his curler, probably the closest that they have come to getting on the score sheet. Mavropanos with the best chance for West Ham United, repelled by Dean Henderson, but at half-time it's Crystal Palace 0, West Ham United 0. What we can cook up in the second half. Despite their brilliant form, Palace have struggled in capital clashes at home this season. They've won only one of their last 8 London derbies at Selhurst Park, and I wonder, Danny, how much fatigue will be a factor in the second half of the game. Will Palace run out of steam? They've played 50 games in all competition this season, the 6th most in the country.
They could well do. I think that will depend on the intensity West Ham try and play, and if they really go after a win. don't think it'll be too long before West Ham look at a couple of changes, because the bench is pretty good.
Yeah, well, we might be thinking about one here now, because within seconds of the restart, West Ham United defending a long high ball towards the edge of their box. Have seen a clash between Disasi and Strand Larsen, and it was an arm in the side of the neck from Disasi which has led to Strand Larsen going to the floor.
Yeah,
on the back of his head.
Yes, he'll be all right, the big man. He did stand in his way, to be fair. He took it well, but it's been a difficult evening for him. We talked about it before, Strand Larsen, but as I said, he's up against two lads at the minute who are playing really well for West Ham. Both big boys, full of confidence, powerful lads.
Ball cleared into the air by El Hadj Malik Diouf, and then there was a little bit of control from one of the supporters in the front row, which got the crowd up. Palace are attacking the goal towards the Holmesdale Road end, away to our right where the ultras sit and the noise is made, and Chris Richards has the opportunity to launch a long throw into the box, and the American steps up towards the touchline and then propels the ball into the middle of the 18-yard box. It's easily away by Tati Castellanos. It comes out to Diouf, and he's challenged by Munoz. It goes out for a throw-in down in front of us away to our right-hand side. You mentioned Strand Larsen, and I'll go through to the 2-11s in just a second, but the two playing behind him in the number 10 positions, who we talked about being difficult to pick up because of the way they come narrowly in field, Johnson and Pino, are not the usual combination that he plays with. So it's all a little bit new for the forward players at Crystal Palace, and therefore that might be one of the reasons why it's a bit disjointed.
Yeah, they've had moments, those two, but you're right. You need minutes with people in the front line to understand the runs and what people like, and that's probably why we looked at the team at the beginning, didn't we, and thought it would be a bonus for West Ham. I felt that they'd be looking at the sheet when there's no Mateta and no Sarr, thinking, actually, we've got a real chance here.
Right, the two teams look like this. Henderson is the Palace goalkeeper. The red and blue striped jerseys attacking the goal away to our right of Crystal Palace have Munoz as the right wing back, Richards, Lacroix, Campo as the three centre halves, Mitchell as the left wing back, Lerma and Hughes in the centre, Johnson and Pino in the 10, and then Strand Larsen as the furthest forward. For the away side, all in cream, attacking the goal away to our left in the second half. Hermansen is the goalkeeper, Walker-Peters, Disasi, Mavropanos and Diouf for the back four, Souček in midfield with Fernandez, then Somerville, Pablo Felipe and Bowen behind Tati Castellanos in attack. Munoz has the ball halfway inside West Ham territory, throws it down the line in towards Strand Larsen, who flicks it on looking for Johnson, away by Disasi, who gets in front of him. It drops inside the box, Hughes makes first contact, but Fernandez is there to get it back, and as it's cleared by Diouf, it comes off Strand Larsen and it goes out off the Norwegian and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side. So 3 minutes 20 seconds played in the second half. It's Crystal Palace 0, West Ham United 0. Munoz has been really important to Crystal Palace on that right hand side. I don't think they've really got him into the game as well in this in the first half and at the start of the second. He is absolutely vital to him.
Well, one of his great strengths is his fitness and his willingness to run from that deep position and get in great positions, but he is up against two really quick, intelligent players on that left side for West Ham. Somerville helping out Diouf with the defensive work, so they've nullified him to a degree, which is credit to them.
Mateta just warming up away to our left hand side, stretching out his long limbs, and Sarr and Kamada are also going down towards the corner flag away to our left as West Ham come forward with Kyle Walker-Peters, feeding it into the right wing position for Bowen. Bowen's cross takes a deflection off Campo, gets across to him very quickly, tight by the touchline, and it goes behind the way for the first corner of the second half in front of those West Ham fans who have made the short journey from East London to South. And Bowen is going to take the corner kick, which means he will be targeting Mavropanos once again. Disasi, who's in there and has already got a goal for West Ham United. Pablo Felipe in there too. He's still waiting for his first Premier League goal. And Castellanos as well. Here is the corner, left-footed in towards the near post. It's flicked away by Canvo, and it goes behind and away for a second successive West Ham United corner.
Yeah, just whizzed in from Bowen to that near post area. Decent clearance by Camvo. Interesting to see if Callum Wilson was used at some point this evening, because I like Callum Wilson. I think he's a better bet than Pablo, to be honest with you.
It's a poor corner by Bowen, who hits the first man with a low delivery which he didn't catch right at all, and Munoz gets it away. Walker-Peters takes over, gets it back out to Bowen far side. In he goes to Souček. Bowen on to Carl Walker-Peters, tries to whip it through the Partira, comes back to Bowen, edge of the box, left-footed drive into the back of Will Hughes, and then Crystal Palace looked to escape with Pino, and Johnson made a brilliant run through the middle of the park. They didn't find him, and now Walker-Peters has got it. Into the box he goes towards Bowen. Bowen keeps it alive with an overhead kick. It's flicked into the air by Richards with the header. Drops inside the 6-yard box. No one's taken charge. Cambo tries to head it clear. Then it's whacked away by Lacroix up towards halfway, and Mavropanos comes across and gets in front of Strand Larsen. Well, that was a missed opportunity for Crystal Palace. They tried to break away. They didn't feed Brennan Johnson, who made a really intelligent run. Then very quickly they were on the attack again, West Ham United, and there was a big opportunity for them to take the lead. Still 0-0.
It was more like Bowen, wasn't it? Nice little intricate play off that right hand side, little give and go, and got his shot away. It was a great block actually from Will Hughes.
Yeah, hit him on the sort of side of the back, didn't it, as he threw himself in front of it. It remains goalless on TalkSport, with West Ham in possession inside their own territory. Back to Hermansen, who immediately rifles the ball upfield. It's away by Munoz in the right full-back position, and then Somerville tries to keep it in, and just about does, according to the assistant on the near side, and then gives away a free kick anyway.
See, that was sloppy from Fernandez again. Nice, easy little punchy volley into Somerville. He overhits it, means he has to stretch and try and control it on the volley. Just basics. Just take care with it. Just nice and composed. It's been a little bit sloppy. I'm a fan of him, but I think he's been a bit sloppy with his passing tonight.
I think West Ham United really do need to take something from tonight's game, actually, Danny. Now, the more I look at that running, they seem to have the toughest running of all the relegation-threatened teams. And I think the Opta supercomputer has said that statistically their fixtures are 8% harder than the games they've already played. Which means that unless they do get something tonight, they could find themselves struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
We've got to play Everton next and then go away to Brentford. They've got Arsenal at home on Sunday the 10th of May. We'll be doing Game Day live from the London Stadium that day. Newcastle away from home, and then they've finished with that game against Leeds United, by which time you would imagine that Leeds United had already secured their safety.
And could be prepping for a final in the FA Cup. Hopefully.
Speak for yourself. Here is Hughes weaving away from Pablo Felipe into Larsen. Larsen tries to travel back to the halfway line, plays it down the corner onto Munoz. Munoz feeds Johnson. Johnson on the edge of the box, plays a lovely ball through the 18-yard box. There's no one to finish it off, and it's away by Carl Walker-Peters before it can reach Tyreek Mitchell, and it goes out for a corner.
Yeah, it's good play from Strand Larsen actually. He was involved in the link-up then, kept the ball well, was nice and strong. Good run from Brennan Johnson, good ball across the box, and not enough numbers in there to threaten really.
Should Pino be getting in there?
Yeah, he should. You've got to be flying in there. You've got to be flying in there. Just make the numbers, get runs across people.
8 minutes gone in the second half. Palace on the advance here towards the goal away to our right. They've got a corner far side taken by Yeremy Pino. He's got Richards to Amat and Lacroix too. Lerma goes towards it once more. It's away by Bowen. It's not a great corner actually. Not enough distance on it into the middle of the box. It sort of died just before the edge of the 6-yard box, and Bowen was able to get a strong header away, and it's all the way through to Henderson away to our left. Crystal Palace 0, West Ham 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports, and don't forget that you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Crystal Palace versus West Ham live right now. Search Now Sports. Hughes for Crystal Palace, and he's coming forward down the right. Hesitated, went back to Richards, and then all the way through to Lacroix, back out to Hughes once again. He rifles that on very quickly to Johnson. Johnson tries to pull it back. Oh, he doesn't try and pull it back. He should have done. He went through the 6-yard box. I thought he was going to pull it back to Strand Larsen, who just peeled off. Instead, he put the ball right through the middle, square through the 6-yard box, and the only man there was in bright orange. It was goalkeeper Hermansen, and he grabbed it.
Well, I've talked about him getting in great positions, and that was another one from Johnson, but there's just no belief or conviction in his final ball.
There's then another good run through the middle. Strand Larsen couldn't find him. Mavropanos intercepted. Lerma bounds forward down the Crystal Palace left, feeds Mitchell. Mitchell gets to the edge of the box. Pino takes over. He's inside the area. He weaves away from one challenge, runs into Carl Walker-Peters, who just crumples into a heap, and the free kick is given in his favour, the former Southampton man's, and it's a free kick to West Ham United.
It's brilliant defending from Walker Peters, because he gets back inside to help Fernandez, who's left one-on-one with Pino and didn't look comfortable. Good start to the second half from Palace, good tempo. Maybe he's given him a little rocket half time, who knows, but the start of this second half, they've been at it, got in some really good positions down this inside right channel.
Yes, they've been much better in the second half, and Palace are trying to protect a serious home record tonight. They are unbeaten in the last 6 matches at Selhurst Park in all competitions. And if they can stop West Ham from winning, then they'll gain some fans in North London as well. Ball cleared away by Hermansen, and away it goes to Lacroix. The way things stand at the moment, though, and it is worth reminding you that if West Ham do get a point tonight, Wolves will be relegated. Ball over on the right-hand side with Bowen. Bowen trying to get the ball into the area. It comes back to Pablo Felipe, unconvincing with his shot. Takes a deflection, and it's cleared away by Canvo. High up into the night sky. It drops over the head of Fernandez. Down by Strand Larsen. Into Pino. Back to the Norwegian once again. He's on the halfway line. He plays it intelligently infield to Hughes, who finds Pino. It's swept out wonderfully to Munoz. Munoz with a cross into the box. Strand Larsen is arriving, and Mavropanos just gets across his path and flicks the ball out for a corner. It was a superb Crystal Palace move, sweeping up the pitch from the left full-back area over the halfway line with several passes which cut West Ham open, and the final cross had to be defended by the Greek Mavropanos because Strand Larsen was ready to tuck it home.
It's a really good move, wasn't it? Pino involved again, and Strand Larsen much quicker with their passing, much more productive, trying to make things happen. It's good ball in from Munoz as well.
Mateta and Kamada are about to come on for Crystal Palace. Here is the corner to be taken by Jeremy Pino. Richards up from the back, so is Lacroix. It's aimed in towards Lerma at the far post, away by El Hadj Diouf. Breaks for Mitchell. He's encouraged to shoot. He doesn't. He's 30 yards from goal, and then Hughes gets air underneath the ball, but it drops kindly for Pino. Pino then loses it, has it pinched by Bowen. His 350th appearance for Jarrod Bowen tonight. He tries to travel down the right. Mitchell pinches it off him, turns it over, and Palace come forward. Pino out of the game at the moment. He's on the floor wanting treatment, but he's back up now. He knows they're on the attack, and he's got the ball on the left edge of the penalty area. He moves into an advanced position, crosses it towards Strand Larsen, away by Disasi. Will be recovered here by Munoz. Down on the right, attacking the West Ham penalty area. He feeds Hughes, who's pulled back by Tati Castellanos, and it's going to be a free kick to Crystal Palace about 10 yards outside the box, just right of centre. Three changes for Crystal Palace. I wonder if they'll have him before the free kick. Mateta coming on. He's going to replace Strand Larsen.
Well, he's made the first move, hasn't he, Glasner? And this would be worrying me if I was the West Ham manager, because these two are a handful. Sarr and Mateta, completely different proposition to Pino and Strand Larsen. He doesn't look best pleased coming off, by the way.
Yeah, Pino off as well, Strand Larsen off, Mateta on. And the other change is Will Hughes being replaced by Kamada, and he's another one who doesn't look particularly happy about the fact that he has been replaced by Daichi Kamada. So three changes for Oliver Glasner, who rolls his dice. Nuno Espirito Santo has kept his cards close to his chest.
I think the way they've started this second half, he needs to be thinking about a couple of changes himself, I'd say.
Three changes completed for Crystal Palace. Kamada, Mateta and Sarr on. Here is Kamada, straight into the thick of the action. He comes over to take the free kick. He's down the right side, or try and float this into the box. We're just hitting the hour mark on TalkSport. 0-0 to score. Crystal Palace have been better in the second half. It's floated towards the back post. The header by Lerma is straight into the arms of the goalkeeper Hermansen, who drops in front of his 6-yard box and grabs it, and then we'll bowl it out towards the far side. These bold changes from Crystal Palace. Obviously, clearly, he wants to try and chase that points record.
Yeah, he does. It's a nice bold move. I think it's the right one to do as well.
It's great for Mateta, by the way, that he's come back. He's had that sort of knee problem that stopped him from getting that move to AC Milan. There was a bit of sort of conjecture about whether or not if he scored the other night would they celebrate with him. Oh boy, did they. He scored a penalty in the Fiorentina game I was here, and the noise as he kicked the corner flag in celebration was brilliant. Ball up towards Bowen, he takes it out of the sky. Cambo goes across to put him off. He takes it into the 18-yard box, gets to the byline, then pulls it back for Walker Peters, who's joining the attack on the right side. There's a water boss. Oh, it's a boot of Bowen as the ball goes into the box. Bowen hit his own boot with the ball that he tried to pass back to Carl Walker Peters. There's a nudge on the edge of the area, kept alive by Pablo, away by Munoz. Eventually the free kick is given in favour of Crystal Palace. Darren England very quick to blow the whistle, and we have a free kick. Bowen actually has a bit of a hoodoo over Crystal Palace. He's found the net in each of his last 2 games against the Eagles, but he just hasn't really caught fire tonight, has he?
No, and they're so heavily reliant on his creativity that it shows more when he's not at it. And that's credit to Palace as well. The defender we talked about at half-time, but
Mitchell's been good tonight, I think.
Yeah, he has. But and Camvo.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you criticise him, I knew he was going to play well.
I didn't criticise him. Here's Munoz on the right side, into the box, crossing the box. Oh, fumbled by Hermansen. And it's almost snaffled up by Ismail Assar. And what I pointed out was he'd made a couple of errors because he's still young.
And
you agreed, actually. So don't you...
He's done well tonight, though, hasn't he?
Rewrite history. Away by Henderson. Headed out by Pablo Felipe. Yeah, he's done well tonight. In fact, you know what? They've defended really well, Crystal Palace, as they have done recently. They've started to post more of those clean sheets, which that's sort of gone away from them over the course of the last few months, but they've started to tighten up again.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not just changing to the West Ham dynamic. I'm really not sure what Nuno's seeing. Pablo has really struggled to make an impact.
What would you do now then?
I'd put Callum Wilson on. I'd put him on. You know he can get a goal. He's strong as an ox. He'll be willing to make those runs in behind as well. Pablo only comes one way to feet. He hasn't got the speed. He hasn't got the speed to run in behind. Or I'd be even tempted to go to a 4-3-3 and maybe put Bowen in there as a 10 or whatever. Just try something because they've got no momentum in the game at the moment.
Foul by Kamada. And as a result of that, it's going to be a free kick on halfway. Tati Castellanos was the one who he ended up fouling. Here is Lacroix getting in front of Diouf, clearing upfield. Munoz stayed high, managed to nudge the ball into the path of Lerma. Lerma across to Cambo. Immediately Bowen is on him, and Cambo sends it back out towards this near side. Well, we haven't seen much of Callum Wilson recently. Just 8 minutes against Wolverhampton Wanderers in the last game. It's the only football he's played in a month. So very much used as a substitute, nothing more than that. His last start was on the 4th of March, but those starts have been few and far between. Ball flicked forward to Pablo Felipe, picked up by Matthias Fernandez, who gets to the edge of the area, tries to go on the outside and then is shuffled back infield by Lacroix. Referee says play on, and Diouf with a cross towards the far post, comes down for Castellanos and it's cleared away by the Palace defence and then hoisted upfield by Brennan Johnson. Bit of West Ham pressure.
They've also got Adama Traore, of course, as well to come on one of the wide areas if you want to,
add a bit of momentum,
a bit of speed and dynamism. Yeah.
He's still waiting for his first West Ham goal. No goal or assist to Adama Traore in his last 24 Premier League appearances. But he's a handful, there's no doubt about that. And he certainly gives you something to think about. Here is
I think we'll see him or Callum Wilson very soon. Whether that's Traore on the right, Bowen in the middle, or Bowen leaving where he is and Callum Wilson on. He's got to change it because they're not a threat. They've had nothing really this second half at all.
No. Hermansen forward, looking for Somerville. His control is good. He brings the ball infield. He weaves away from Munoz, then plays a reverse ball into the path of Pablo, but it's slipped by the defender, and it comes through to Castellanos, and he tries to bundle his way past Jefferson Lerma, goes down and spills the ball. It's picked up by Henderson, but it should have been a routine clearance that from Jefferson Lerma as the ball was overrun by Somerville looking for Pablo. He just took a heavy touch and then fell over, didn't he, Jefferson Lerma? That almost caused a whole raft of problems for Crystal Palace.
Good play from Somerville again.
Castellanos was on it very quickly, but then he fell over as well. and nobody could keep their footing. 25 to go. 0-0 Crystal Palace and West Ham. Ball out towards the far side, collected now by Mitchell. Mitchell moves up towards the edge of the penalty area and then guides it back into the path of Kamada. Kamada, eyes darting everywhere, plays the ball infield. Lacroix buzzes that in nicely to Lerma. A good breaking line breaking pass out towards the right, and good cross in towards Mateta. Comes back towards Kamada. It was just a little bit too far away from him. He couldn't get on the end of it. Mateta's header was almost like a glancing one. Came back to the edge of the area. Kamada, he thought he was going to fall in his lap, but it didn't quite. It was just too far away from him, and the ball scooted out and away from harm's way, and West Ham clear. Here's Munoz again, right side, trying to get into a crossing position. A good cross it is. Mavropanos gets something on it, but only manages to edge it out as far as Mitchell's on the far side. Joining is Cambo. Cambo up to the edge of the area. A high ball which is kept in by Munoz, chested down by Diouf and then cleared away. I'm not sure it was out, but the assistant's a lot closer than we are, and he flags and gives away a goal kick to West Ham United. We're still awaiting our breakthrough.
Still doesn't look like any movement down on that West Ham bench, which absolutely gobsmacks me, because the momentum is gone for West Ham. They don't look it looks like they're waiting to get beaten the way they're playing at the moment. They're not really contributing.
Traore is out there.
He's got to be thinking some change, some freshness, doing something to get West Ham back in this game. Not back in it, but change the momentum to give them a chance to win it, I should say.
Well, yeah, because Crystal Palace are on top, aren't they?
Well, comfortably.
So they do need to do something, especially with, as we've already mentioned, the toughness of that running going forward. Here is Castellanos, little back heel, then tries to feed Bowen. Bowen stretches, reaches it, gets it back to Castellanos, edge of the area. Might need a little bit of magic from him. Pablo Felipe takes over. Infield to Fernandez, back to Diouf, across towards the far post. It's, left by Cambo, I think, in the end. And it goes out and away. Oh, they've given a corner kick. But maybe Cambo did get something.
So with you, if you were the linesman stood where he is.
Well, he's in front of the West Ham fans, yeah, so he has to sort of give it. I'm not sure he did touch it.
Might have skimmed his shoulder, but
might. We're not certain, are we?
To be fair, I think I'd have been pointing at the spot in that position, wouldn't you?
The assistant over on the far side.
So not the spot, sorry, the corner spot, I mean.
Yeah. Corner kick has been given, and Bowen will take it. And he's about to take the arcing left-footed in swinger from the far side. Palace won't be happy if something happens from this, and they do concede a lot of goals from corners. Ball in by Bowen, right underneath the goalkeeper, who gets a half punch on it, drops on the edge of the box. Kamada thundered that away, and it goes out as far as Diouf, who gets it back into Mavropanos, who has another header on target, and it's gobbled up by Henderson. Crystal Palace 0, West Ham 0 on TalkSport, and the latest odds are available at Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Palace to win the game at 14-5. The draw is 6-5 on, and West Ham are 27-10 to win the match. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18+, BigGambleAware.org. Where's your money? Here's Souček, clipping it down the right-hand side, looking for the run of Bowen. Bowen for West Ham, trying to escape the clutches of JD Canvo, who gets back at him muscularly, and into Souček, who runs down a blind alley, and it's pinched by Kamada, who runs up towards the halfway line, and now Crystal Palace look to bring the ball forward. Chris Richards takes over. Again, just lacking a little bit of tempo when they get up to halfway, Crystal Palace. I just wonder whether that fatigue factor is starting to feel the pinch now. We've got live football for you tomorrow. 2 games. TalkSport 2 has Leicester against Hull City. That's in the Championship. Leicester struggling at the bottom of the table. Even if they hadn't had their points deduction, they'd still be in trouble. Brighton against Chelsea's live on TalkSport. 8 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night. Wednesday night, Burnley, Manchester City and Bournemouth Leeds, both on the TalkSport network. And then Friday, Sunderland, Nottingham Forest. Ball over on the left-hand side with Mitchell, trying to twist and turn into a crossing position. He guides it back to Kamada instead. The Japanese international finds Lacroix. Slowly but surely, Crystal Palace have advanced into the West Ham half of the field. They're midway inside it now with JD Canvo into a left wing position. The ball picked up by Mitchell. Mitchell looking for a cross. He tries to outwit Bowen. Gets the ball back onto his right foot, but Bowen blocks that, goes out for a throw. I just wonder whether Chris Richards is going over again. I don't think he is this time. Jefferson Lerma's going across, and he's got a very different long throw. More of a sort of flat delivery from Jefferson Lerma, if my memory serves me right. But he's another one who's got an amazing ability to get some distance on it. So this one happening about halfway inside the West Ham half of the field, down the touchline on the left-hand side, and all of the Palace players are piling towards the box. And it is a flatter delivery in towards the near post, flicked into the air by Castellanos, away by Somerville. It'll drop for Cambo, flicked on by Munoz, back into the danger zone, and Diouf is being challenged by Mateta, who gets there, and now Sarr has it. Sarr trying to turn back to Mateta. His cross is poor, it's fended away by Disasi rather easily, and it bounces out for a throw on this near side. It's still 0-0.
It's pretty relentless, really. Very few breakaways for West Ham, no territory in the Palace half. He's calling someone back now, but I'm amazed it's not 10-15 minutes ago, to be honest. I think he's called Callum Wilson back.
Yeah, Wilson just travelling back from the corner flag where he was doing his warm-up. Traore stayed down there. This is Jefferson Lerma. Game needs a change, needs a goal, needs something. If you're West Ham and you escape here with a point, you'll be mildly satisfied with that, won't you?
Not with the way they've played second half, no. It showed a lack of belief in what they're doing, because they've got more quality than this. Yes, we'll talk about Bowen being underperforming, but there's three other forwards there. Some of us done okay, actually, to be fair to him. He's probably been the brightest, but the two centre forwards have been pretty unimpactful, really, to be honest. I'd throw Callum Wilson and Traore on, and I'd put Bowen up front with Wilson and let Traore go out right and just mix it up, give him some different, because I tell you, if you're Mitchell and Cambo and you go from Bowen to Traore, all of a sudden it's a different thing. The pacier, the more direct. Bowen's a cleverer, kind of play round you type player.
Ball cleared away by Henderson under pressure. Fernandes has got it back to Tandy Castellanos, who's found Somerville edge of the area. It was a poor clearance by Henderson, and now a chance for Fernandes to get across it. He almost sort of fell over the ball as he tried to cross it, and that's allowed a counter-attack as the ball is cleared up to Sarr. He races up to the halfway line, needs support, has to go backwards because the only man in front of him was Mateta. They have got lots of space on this near side for Munoz and Kamada, but the ball by Mitchell is poor, and it's headed away by Disasi, and it goes out of play. Callum Wilson on, Pablo off. It's a substitution that Danny has been calling for quite some time.
Probably since the 20th minute, really.
Well, it is going to happen.
No, I'm joking. I just think he looks tired now, and he hasn't impacted the game. Obviously, he's allowed a bad evening, but with Callum Wilson on the bench, and you know what he's capable of, I'd have had him on much earlier.
Here on the left-hand side, Mateta tries to get on the end of a cross. He almost got there, and then Somerville has to just poke the ball out of play and put it out for a throw. Palace on top, but they haven't made that dominance pay so far. They've dominated possession of the football so far, 50% of it. They've had 6 shots, 1 on target. Actually, West Ham have had 3 on target, but most of that action that they have enjoyed came in the first half of the game. This is TalkSport, 0-0. We're just 17 minutes away from the conclusion of this match, and Jefferson Lerma is wiring up for a long throw. I just think probably one goal settles this game tonight, Danny.
Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it?
Lerma with a long ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, flicked by Lacroix. Goalkeeper comes, he claims well, and he handles the ball with care and runs out to the edge of his own penalty area, and he will clear it away.
See, that's another thing. Managers not making substitutions when there's a set play in their own defensive third or whatever it is, the rules they have. It's a centre forward for a centre forward. It's not going to make any difference.
Is it because you don't want to disrupt the marking patterns?
Come on. Just make it out. Just get him. Yeah, no, it is.
Carl Walker-Peters with the cross in towards the far post, headed by Pablo. Doesn't connect with it. It's good defending by Munoz.
I was half expecting him to head that in. Just to shut us up. Well, me.
Here's Sarr on the near side. Under pressure from Diouf, foul by Diouf, free kick. And Nuno Espirito Santo rubs his gloves on his bald head. And he's absolutely furious that went against Diouf, that foul. He actually got the ball, Diouf. Yeah, off comes Pablo, and on comes Callum Wilson. And it's a different foil for Tati Castellanos. What's he going to give Castellanos?
Some help, more physicality, more pace, more experience, more goal threat. Anything else? I'm amazed he's not starting. I really am.
He's 34 now. He has had a lot of injury issues.
But he's just so experienced and he's so capable of scoring.
And we're in a sort of emergency situation now where West Ham need points and need them fast. We can't be messing around like they were at the beginning of the season. I do think, when we look back on this season, if they do go down, we'll look at those two games that I think you and I did one of them, the Monday night and the Friday night, where the team selection was just off the scale, mad.
Yes. One was Leeds away, wasn't it?
Yep.
The other one was
Brentford at home. Here is Kamada, just left of the centre circle. There was a foul though on Somerville before that, which has gone against Crystal Palace, and it's a free kick to West Ham United. 15 minutes to go. And we really are heading towards stalemate, and it will change the table, but only just. If it stays like this, West Ham United 33 from 33, Spurs 31 from 33, Nottingham Forest will have still that gap to Spurs and 3 points to Palace. Here's the ball in towards the near post by Mateta, looking for Sarr, who tries to get across Hermansen, who does brilliantly to jump in front of him. Somerville gets it on the halfway line, being chased by Richards. Down the touchline it goes, away by Munoz, picked up by Souček.
I think Tottenham will be pleased if it's a draw.
They'll be delighted.
Absolutely delighted.
Because what it will mean is
they only need one win.
They'll need to win at the weekend against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and they might be able to go above West Ham United. Justin Devaney is coming on, and Brennan Johnson is coming off. Haven't seen much of Brennan Johnson, have we, since the start of the second half, really?
No.
Ball played out wide to Diouf, chests the ball down for West Ham United, trying to find a goal that would edge them even closer to safety. The ball drops into the path of Wilson. He can't get there. Lerma does, and now Mateta picks it up and he spins and tries to run forward. Tackled by Disasi. Santi Castellanos, who's almost playing as the 10 now, with Wilson going through the middle as the 9. Fighting for the ball, it runs loose in midfield, and Mateta releases Johnson, and Johnson's got Sarr up alongside him. It's Johnson edge of the area. He plays it a bit behind Sarr. That slows the momentum of the attack, but it comes back to Lerma, who tries to shape the ball into the corner. It's spilt by Hermansen. It looked an easy save, but it slipped out of his gloves, and it goes behind and away for a corner kick to Crystal Palace. 0-0.
Fernandes was fuming because he thought it was a free kick, and when that free kick wasn't given, then the breakaway happened. Ended up with the Lerma shot that was going wide. Actually, the keeper didn't get his bearings at all.
Yeah, he should have held on to that, really.
Yeah, we didn't even need to.
Did he? No. It's going well wide. Here's another change then. Devaney comes on, and Brennan Johnson's night is over. And Devaney hasn't really seen much action in recent times. Comes off the bench, is popular around these parts. Scored the winning penalty in the Community Shield earlier in the season. That's their fourth substitution.
It was nice to hear the Palace fans giving Brennan Johnson a
round of applause.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, he's tried hard. He's got himself some good positions. Just lacking that bit of quality at the moment, that bit of confidence.
First Premier League appearance since January for Justin Devaney, as the corner comes in from that man. Devaney, left-footed, arcs it towards the far post, and it dropped in a lovely area, and no one was there to convert it, and Carl Walker-Peters let it slip by and out for a goal kick. What a chance. Good delivery. Well, a nice introduction to the game for Justin Devaney.
That was a good delivery, you're right. Just eluded everyone. Normally you'd have someone coming round the back. That's something you'd always work on. Someone coming round that back. If everyone missed it, just to get that side forward, a header.
Crystal Palace will have 43 points. They'll have a game in hand over Sunderland and Fulham. And they'll have to win that to go up to 11th position. Here's Santi Castellanos, edge of the area, as the ball is sent long upfield. He slips as he tries to hit it.
But the reason he got the shot was the strength of Callum Wilson.
Yep. He pushed Lacroix out of the way.
He's a strong boy, and just that presence. There you go. All of a sudden, he's got a shot. Should do better. He's falling as he hits it, but they're the little things.
Here is Mitchell sliding the ball into Mateta. Mateta is dispossessed by Mavropanos. Up it goes to Somerville. Again, it's behind him, and it's nabbed away by Munoz, and then picked up by Richards, who charges forward, needs a pass. Munoz provides him with an angle 4-1. Gives it back. It was good defending. You're listening to Crystal Palace 0, West Ham 0 on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Here's Devaney, space out wide left. It's collected by Mitchell. First time ball into the box, steered away by Mavropanos. Back with Mitchell again. Kamada takes over. They're 10 yards from the edge of the West Ham penalty area. 10 minutes to go before the end of the game. Munoz is at the far post. The ball is delivered into the area. Was there a handball there? It took a deflection, definitely. It goes out, is it, for a corner kick on the far side. Kamada's going to take it. And it's another set-piece delivery, which is going to ask questions to the West Ham United defence. Just building up a head of steam. The later the game goes on, West Ham can't afford to wilt. They're only 2 points clear of the relegation zone. That's if it stays like this.
To be honest, Sam, if they were to lose, they don't have themselves to blame, because second half they've been poor. Palace been the better team without being brilliant.
Kamada with the right-footed delivery into the edge of the 6-yard box, away by Souček. Big strong header away. Further clear by Matheus Fernandes, who takes it down well. He's got Somerville in front of him. They look for the counter-attack. He feeds Wilson instead. Wilson, who was played into a difficult area, lost the ball. Kamada got hold of it, and now Palace have it back again.
To be fair to him, he had nothing ahead of him.
Yeah, he did well enough to hold on to it for as long as he did.
Yeah.
Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy will have the chance to pick this apart on the sports bar a little bit later on. 0371722 3344. They'll have a post-match inquest into this and Jamie's wedding on Saturday. All the details will be furnished after 10 o'clock tonight. I want to know what happened to that after party. I know what those boys are like. Cundy and O'Hara together again. Here is Munoz. Out to the left and Mitchell into Cambo. Cambo looks up. Plays it square into Kamada. Kamada's had a lot of touch from the ball since coming on as a substitute. Mateta dropping a little bit deeper to pick the ball up and fend it wide. Cross from Mitchell into the box, aimed towards Mateta. It's loose now in the area. Mateta brings it down and Sarr turns and rifles it home. He drops inside the box and Crystal Palace's celebrations are stopped momentarily because the referee thinks there was a handball in the build-up to it. Well, interesting, very interesting. But Ismaila Sarr looked to have rifled Crystal Palace in front.
It's a good header originally from Disasi. Yeah, it's handball. He doesn't mean it, but as he drops, it hits Mateta's hand. It's a good spot from the referee. Big let off for West Ham, though.
Well, it should be a warning to West Ham United, actually. The goal's been disallowed.
It is a warning, yeah.
And they've got to get their act together because they are in danger of losing this game.
I'd be tempted if I was, he's bringing on a midfielder. I think he might bring Castellanos off and go to a 4-3-3 or 4-5-1, whichever way you want to look at it. Just try and make sure they stay in, get this point.
I just wonder how many points you're going to need to stay in the Premier League this season. That's the question. And Palace haven't been at their best, but they've still been good. West Ham United have been far from their best, I think.
They had a good 15-minute spell at the end of the first half, where you thought they're growing in confidence and now they're getting into the game. Other than Mavropanos' header from the brilliant cross from Juve, they've really created very little.
Here's Juve again trying to cross. He digs it out, but he overhits it. It goes into the White Horse Lane end away to our left, rather tamely, and it's out for a goal kick. And Conte is about to come on, Mamadou Conte, and he's replacing, as you mentioned, Tati Castellanos for the last few minutes. Conte wearing 55, comes onto the field of play, midfield player, so Wilson will go up top, and they'll just, as Danny said, go 4-3-3 for the final few minutes of this game.
It's probably something they should have thought about, and I know he's put Wilson on maybe to help Castellanos, but I thought if he'd have changed maybe midway second half personally, and maybe changed the system a bit, just give him a bit of a problem for Palace, try and stop their momentum, because second half from West Ham, I think he'll be really disappointed. He might not say that, he might just keep spirits up by saying it's a good point. But with the team Palace picked and the game they had not so long ago, I think it's a missed opportunity for West Ham.
Kamada to Mitchell, Mitchell wide left in towards Mateta. Mavropanos is there again, he's been vital tonight, Mavropanos. Just took it off the toes of Mateta as it threatened to reach the Frenchman, and it goes out for a throw. But it's another one of those long throws that Jefferson Lerma is winding up for. He's taken over the throwing duties in the second half, and he's going to try and aim it into Richards and Lacroix and Mateta and Sarr, are all lingering around the edge of the 6-yard area, waiting for something to fall in their direction. We're in the 85th minute of the game. It's 0-0 on TalkSport. Palace coming forward. A long ball into that near post. From the throw-in, there was a push. Walker-Peters has gone down. And it's been a bit like that tonight as well. Just when the momentum has started to pick up, the referee's blown the whistle for a foul.
Do you know what? It's that comment, wasn't it?
You're blaming me, aren't you?
Yeah.
What
did you say the average was? 5.2.
5.2 goals per game in the last few meetings between these two. Sorry about that. I can only give you the statistics. I'm not... Oh, all right, I'll just take it. It's my fault. Sorry, folks. I do apologise. But it is very much still in the balance. We could have a humdinger of a finish here.
Well, I think they're intriguing, these games, because I always find it fascinating to see which way the manager who needs the points is really going to go. Is he going to protect? Is he going to take the risk?
Munoz trying to get into the right wing position, or it's been robbed by Somerville. Somerville dances his way into a crossing position, then runs into Richards. The ball runs loose across the penalty area. West Ham coming forward here on the right now. It's with Carl Walker-Peters, engaged immediately by Tyreek Mitchell. He clips it into the path of Fernandez, who in turn finds Bowen. Bowen down the side of the penalty area. Good delivery to the far post. It's taken down by Wilson. Almost came through to Somerville. It's half cleared away. Back in by Diouf, who strikes it from 20 yards.
20? He's about 30 yards, and he's trying to hit a dipping volley. Honestly, the decision making sometimes of players.
There we go. 24 yards out.
Yeah, 25, 26.
Get your tape measure out. Cleared away by Richards.
No.
What colour's the sky? Don't start again. You've already got me in trouble a couple of times tonight. Diouf. Infield. Find Disasi. One by Munoz. Fires it forward into Sarr. Goes back to the edge of the area, and Mavropanos takes it through the D. Looks up. Where's he going to place this one? He pokes it into the path of Somerville. Somerville infield to Souček. Immediately tries to whip it round the corner, but he doesn't get enough on it, and it's dispossessed by Cambo. And they turn it over now with Sarr in the middle of the box. He plays it through the legs of Somerville. Good ball out wide onto Munoz. Munoz comes forward for Crystal Palace. 0-0 the score with 3 minutes of normal time remaining here. Back it goes to Richards. And then across to Lacroix, and they'll look to build again. Floated forward by Lerma. Out towards the far side. Header away by the ball. Carl Walker-Peters, and he finds Conte. Conte on the halfway line. Fishes the ball through the middle. That's cleared away by Munoz. No one really can get sustained pressure or possession of the football at the moment. There's lots of turnovers from one side to the other, and that's not really helping the flow of the game.
It's been scrappy, hasn't it?
It's been
really has, yeah.
Especially second half. That's been a real problem. And ball's just been cleared out by Mavropanos, out of play over on the far side. Crystal Palace's next game, Saturday, 25th of April, away at Liverpool. West Ham United play Everton the same day. They've got a big game at the London Stadium against David Moyes' team. David Moyes going to the London Stadium trying to stop West Ham from getting points in a relegation race. I mean, that's got a story and a narrative all of its own.
It has.
And we've got live football for you Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday night of this weekend. And we finish with Manchester United Brentford on Monday night. Here is Kamada. Back to Cambo. You're not coming to Manchester United Brentford, I hear.
That's true.
Oh, right, okay, don't worry about it. It's fine. Too far north for him,
I wasn't worried.
Huh? Dear, oh dear.
I'm not going to explain.
Richards out towards the right. It's Munoz cutting in from the near side, trying to find Kamada. Now it's picked up by Lacroix. Lacroix shuffles it left. It's taken on by Cambo again. Cambo's going to shoot. He probably wishes he hasn't.
That would have topped off a fine evening for the young man, but I never fancied him, to be honest, on his weak foot from what, 31 yards?
It's 29 and a half, and it went about 45 yards over the bar. 4 minutes of added time. Is there going to be a winner in this game?
Doesn't look like, does it?
No. It's been 0-0 in every sense of the word, really. We've had only a handful of good opportunities, and I just think there's been a sort of change in emphasis. Both teams pretty happy maybe with a point. Certainly West Ham look happier with a point than Crystal Palace, because it's Crystal Palace who are chasing the game, and they haven't got as much to play for as West Ham. Ball into the box on the left side by Mitchell, cut out by El Hadj Malik Diouf, and then the ball breaks in the centre field for Kamada to Lacroix. 4 minutes confirmed by the fourth official down away to our left. Fired forward to Sarr, who had the ball in the net. Disassi with a tackle puts it out on this near side. Sarr felt as if he was caught there, but it's a throw-in, no more than that. And it's a throw-in which Lerma will toss into the box. Maybe this is the final chance of the match for Crystal Palace, who have probably been the better team in the game, or have been the better team in the game.
Yeah.
They're probably about it. Lerma to take it. West Ham have taken a lot of points in the latter half of the season. They've come to life, really, shown some fighting spirit.
I think the only thing you can say about tonight, really, if they get out of it with a draw, is that they stay unbeaten.
Lerma sends the ball in. It's away by Mavropanos. It's cleared away by Diouf. I think one of the positives for West Ham is that they won't have conceded, and that defensive unit still looks pretty resilient.
It does. And I think it would be better with Wan-Bissaka in it maybe next week if they can resolve their little differences.
I think the other issue is, Danny, is that there is a bit too much reliance on Bowen. They weren't very good actually in the first half of the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers until he came up with a stellar cross which put them in front, and then that gave them the freedom to play a little bit, took the wind out of Wolves' sails.
Well, Somerville was in good form, wasn't he, till he had a little break, then he had a little injury, I think. He hasn't quite hit the straps. He was good first half, just faded a little bit second half, but the two front boys struggled this evening. Maybe that's credit to Palace's back line, but
that's a slip and then a pull by Diouf, and that's going to be a yellow card. Munoz did not need to signal for the yellow card, and he is going to get himself a yellow card as a result, because he asked for it. So he asked for a yellow, and he gets the yellow, and then Diouf gets a yellow for pulling him down. That's the rules, fella. There's no point in arguing about it. Everybody knows it.
Sometimes people just like to argue, Sam.
Maybe they do.
Just frustration. Yeah.
Why not?
You know you're wrong, but you'll have an argument anyway.
Better out than in.
Yeah. Why not?
Free kick to Crystal Palace on this near side. Kamada to take it. And there are 7 Palace players who are going to attack this ball from the Japanese. Could he have the decisive moment in this Monday night tie between Crystal Palace and West Ham United? West Ham United fighting for their lives at the bottom of the table. They'll only have a 2-point cushion to Tottenham if it stays like this, and if they get a point, Wolves will be relegated this evening. Ball on the right hand side to be taken by Kamada towards the far post, and he's headed towards goal by Lerma. And it's over the top of the crossbar. I think it was Sarr who had gone up there and headed the ball goalwards. No, it was Lerma. Got it right the first time. And it was over the bar and out for a goal kick. It's a bit of a disappointing end to what has been so far a disappointing night for the forwards. No goals scored from either of them. I think Nuno Espirito Santo will probably try and take the positives out of this.
Yeah, clean sheet and all those. 2 centre-halves have been really good. The other highlight, to be fair, Lasagna was good before.
It was very good, actually. Yeah. But the biggest highlight of the game, actually, I suppose, from Crystal Palace point of view, was that everyone thought they would be the fatigued ones, and they've looked the fresher the longer the game has gone on.
Well, they had more. The quality of their bench was better. They brought on more quality, which has helped them.
I mentioned it earlier, though, Danny. He has managed the team very well, the rotation very well all season. He needs credit for that, I think. Here is Munoz. Down the right-hand side, into the middle of the penalty area. Across comes Mitchell, he's going to get there first. No, he's not. Conte's nabbed it, and he's running away towards the Palace half of the field, and Conte's now on the edge of the area. Big chance for West Ham. Walker-Peters takes over, fires it in towards the near post. He can't find Somerville, and then Conte goes in recklessly. The ball's still alive. Bowen into the box. Does it go out for a corner?
Yeah.
Referee says yes. Corner last minute. How on earth was that not a free kick?
Well, maybe he won the ball. We can't see where we've got 16 speakers in the way, so
he
did get the ball.
Akil Howson over on the far side saw it clearly.
He got the ball,
and he got the ball. So it is a corner kick in the last few moments of the game. We played our 4 minutes of injury time. West Ham United. Can they get it? The supporters on the far side screaming for a West Ham winner. This could be absolutely huge if they can find the net here, and they have been really good from set pieces recently and crosses into the box. Headers from Mavropanos have caused damage already tonight, and Bowen sends the ball in towards the near post. It's flicked into the air by Disasi. It drops on the edge of the box. Kamada gets it away. Sarr brings it clear. That's the end, and honours are even at Selhurst Park. The final whistle blows. It's been a hard-fought London derby. Nuno Espirito Santo will take the positives out of it. A clean sheet and a point to take across the capital. It's a result that just inches West Ham towards the safety mark, but they've still got a lot of work to do, and they've got some really tough fixtures to come, none least the fact that their former manager, who delivered so much success in Europe for them just a few years ago, David Moyes, will bring Everton to town at the weekend. It does look increasingly likely that it's going to be Tottenham and West Ham United who are now in direct competition to remain in the Premier League. After a Monday night draw at Selhurst Park, it's finished Crystal Palace 0, West Ham United 0.